Chapter 10 Sweet Memories. Third person POV. He wanted to touch her again, to feel her again. That was the only things he had on his mind the whole day. Tonight he would feel those sweet soft lips against his, not because he wanted to, but because her life depended on it. He would go there again only to help her during the heat. Those were the lies he told himself repeatedly during the day to justify his demand for the clock to go faster until it was time for him to hold her again in his arms. Max closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He had the little wolf scent all over him. After changing her from her wet clothes, he tucked her into bed and lay with her for a few minutes watching the sun coming up. It felt so peaceful and right that he rubbed himself on her like mates, mixing their scents before he left. He was showing all the wolves that she was his. Of course, he knew he did not have the right to do that. Max would let her go soon. He had to. But not today. They still had today. The moon would be full, and he could pretend he did not want this. He was there only to help her. Tonight Terry did not have to call for him. He was already climbing the stairs when the moon shone beautifully in the dark sky. She looked small on the bed. Her eyes were closed, her skin was already burning up. Max only hoped that soon he would see those beautiful gray eyes again, and indeed he saw them. She opened her eyes the moment he carried her to the cold bath. He kissed her, longing to feel those sparks again that only she could give him. The satisfaction in his heart was whole. He held and touched her where no other wolf ever had. Now it was all over. Max could not go to her anymore. The full moon had passed, and he could not eagerly wait like a pup for nightfall. But Max still could hang a little longer on the memories. He did not have to box them inside his mind where he would never revisit them. Not yet, Max told himself. He smiled and thought about how he desperately wanted to slide his fingers inside her just a little bit on her third and last night in heat, and he nearly did. It would be his last time touching her like that, being intimate with a mate the moon goddess had picked for him. He would never feel that with a chosen mate. He licked his lips and could still feel the sweet taste when he had kissed her lips just a few hours ago, the sensation of the sparks flying in his mouth. It was unique and magical. He was hard, very hard, thinking of their sweet moments. And then another scent engulfed his thoughts in his office. A scent he knew very well. He opened his eyes and there she was, not his little wolf but Tanya, sitting on his desk. Looking at the massive volume on his trousers, she asked, "Were you thinking about me, darling?" Like a fox, Tanya came ahead of her father and the rest of her pack for a visit. All she had on her mind was how to convince the powerful Alpha Black to accept the alliance and take her as his Luna. She dreamed of being Luna of a pack like the Blue Moon. Max was a billionaire and a powerful, handsome alpha. He could provide plenty for her. Tanya's position would increase at the wolf events and celebrations. Tanya did not care who her fated mate was. She was sure the moon goddess did not pair her with the best because it was Max, and she was not his destined mate. She opened her legs and lifted her dress, showing him she was not wearing any panties. Tanya unzipped the front of the dress enough to expose her naked breasts. She lowered it further, letting her breasts free, and she said, "I need you." Those were the words Max repeatedly heard from his little wolf for 3 nights straight. A roar came from his mouth. It was time for him to let go of the sweet memories. He had to box them up now, and he would use Tanya to do it. Max got up from the sofa, got a condom from the drawer, put it on and entered Tanya in one go. It was quick, hard, animalistic. There was no love on it. No sparks, no joy. Only flesh. Tanya held onto his shoulders for support and she moaned. Max knew how to give her pleasure, and she was looking forward to being satisfied for the rest of her life. When he finished, he threw the condom in the bin and closed his trousers. Without sparing Tanya a glance, he said, "I will ask an Omega to see you to your room. I need to go for a run." Tanya looked at him, disappointed. She had seduced him in hopes he would allow her to talk about the alliance. But he never gave her a chance in the aftermath. Max sprinted into the woods as fast as his paws could towards the lake. He was antsy to get to the lake, dive into it, and take Tanya's scent off his skin. He was disgusted by it and could not stand it any longer. Max jumped into it and then sat under the sun to dry his fur. He knew the time had come. John would be arriving soon at the pack. He would have him and Tanya pressuring him for the alliance. The same alliance he already had decided to accept before that trip to hell. But he knew it had to be done. Accepting Tanya would mean he would have to reject the little wolf, which was just what the pack needed. Tanya was no little wolf. She was tall, in great shape and a trained she-wolf. Of course, she would not be able to take down an alpha. That was not her job. Tanya was the right decision for the Blue Moon Pack. She already knew all her duties and what was expected of her as a Luna. She would be able to protect the woman and children against other threats if it came to it, and Tanya would heal fast. Max ran back to the pack house. He felt the Shadows pack entering his territory. He did not have to give them an answer today. Max left his walls up. He knew if Ares found out the reason for the visit or if he was included in the negotiations, he would kill everybody from the Shadows pack, starting with Tanya, that dared to think of taking his mate's place. Max POV. After my run, I went to the door to receive the people, and Terry was already there to help. Hope you have put Ares on a leash for the weekend. We don't need any casualties. Just in case, I told Gare to be on high alert. I heard Terry saying on the mind link. I rolled my eyes at him. Nothing will happen, Terry. Don't be dramatic. Of course, I knew he was not being dramatic. With the amount of strength Ares has now, he could take Alpha John, his beta, and a few warriors alone. Did you check on her this afternoon? I could not help and had to ask about her. I had never done it before, and Terry looked at me, surprised. She is awake. I gave her lunch, but I couldn't stay for a chat today. There are so many things to do for the party. I'll bring her an early dinner as I can't be late for the party. Without thinking, I growled lower. No. You can't mess with her nutrition. The schedule is good for her. Terry looked at me and smirked. Well, Alpha, I thought you had put Ares on a leash, which means you are talking and caring for her. The men started to get out of the cars, and I was saved by the bell. Terry looked at me like, this conversation isn't over. After all the greetings, we went straight to my office for business. John was eager to announce to the wolf world that I had chosen his daughter as my Luna. All the terms were the same as before on the deal. John only included his daughter. If I did not want her, there was no alliance. Of course, a smiley Tanya and his beta were presented at the meeting. You have to understand, Alpha Maximus. You won't find a better Luna for your pack than my daughter, even if this other was your destined mate. Tanya went to Luna Camp and received training at my pack since she was a pup. Oh my, he is ready to sell his daughter, or should I say she is the one eager to be sold and is pushing it to become your Luna? Terry sat on the mind blank. I can't complain about it. John is right, Tanya will be a great Luna, and she is stronger than the little wolf upstairs, Terry. Maybe Max. But as I said, she would never be better than the one the goddess gave you. I could not focus anymore. All this talking about mates only brings my mind and soul to the little one upstairs. I could not box the feelings. The mate bond got too strong during her heat. And I was glad they all stopped talking and returned to their rooms to get ready. I desperately needed some space. I was checking myself in the mirror and let Aries out. My head was too heavy with his nagging to break the wall. I have to tell you, buddy. We are indeed handsome. Why are we in a tuxedo? Are we finally bringing our mate somewhere special? I knew he would not let it slide. No, Aries. Shadow's pack is here. We need to renew the alliance soon. Can't you think about something other than your mate? He rolled his eyes. How can you think about something else, Max, when we can have that little wolf in our arms anytime we want? He stared at himself and smirked. God, he was vain. Don't forget, thanks to me. You are flawless, like a Greek god. We have fought many battles, yet you have no scars. And now, with my little one by my side, the pack and we will be even stronger. She promised that. I laughed hard. He had lost it now. Aries, you are delusional if you think that little wolf will make our pack stronger. She is an Omega. We found her on her hands and knees scrubbing floors at 4 in the morning while everybody was sleeping. She can't heal herself, buddy. The room shook with his roar, offended for his mate. Tomorrow, I want to be in control. I need to speak to the pack doctor. We need to know what to do to make her better. Her wolf wants to shift, but her human isn't strong enough. We need to step up, Max. The doctor doesn't know what he's doing. I'm telling you, kid. She has been locked upstairs for a month and was not completely healed. He sat in a position to attack. He was ready to do anything for his mate. No control tomorrow, Aries. Maybe later, after the visitors have left. I cut our connection before he could whine. I roughed. The little wolf is a distraction, and I will take her out of my mind and soul starting today. I don't want to think about her anymore. I need distance, and so does Aries. At the party, my parents were at my table. They were always very happy together and lived in a lovely cabin at our northern border since Dad stepped down, but they often came to the pack house and, of course, at parties. I could not concentrate at the party. All I wanted was to go upstairs to check on her. All my thoughts were about her, the constant desire to be with her. I knew it was the mate bond messing with me. All my barriers were slowly coming down. And I could not let it dominate me as it had with Aries. I grabbed Tanya and brought her back to her guest room. She was happy to oblige. I took her 1, 2, and 3 times. Every time we stopped, I felt disgusted by her scent and skin. My mind traveled back to the sweet, soft lips upstairs. And it was all I wanted. And then I took Tanya hard again because I had to forget about the little wolf. Julie did not belong to the Blue Moon. Max felt disgusted by Tanya's skin because he had not rejected Julie yet, and the mate bond increased daily. He thinks Tanya can help him fight it. Leave your comment below.